Oh, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is just clicked over the hour to midday here in Brisbane, and the reason for our early hangout, we're normally on around about 6 or 7 p.m. Brisbane time. Just checking we are live here. So it's g'day to everybody. It's a lunchtime, and we've got our two biggest assets on the call today: the owner Bill Rowell and Claudia Eifert, our presidential ambassador. And they've got all the information and exactly what's going on with our company. And maybe Paul Weeks will jump on. He was just here before, but might have had a few technical difficulties. So you may or may not have received an email. I believe you emailed everybody in the US, Bill, regarding the situation with the South Carolina, talking about mining as a security as opposed to a product or a commodity. So there's been a little bit of unsureness about what's going on with that. So I thought we'd take the opportunity and grab you. Now you're down in Panama as well with Claudia, so it's a good time of the evening for you guys. So I'll first off say a big welcome to Claudia. I haven't had you on live for a couple of weeks because our timing is like 3 a.m. Normal timing, 3 a.m. But it's great to have you on, Claudia. How's things down there? How are you enjoying Panama?
Hi, Kitty. Well, it's great to be on your Hangouts again. So, we just got to change the time zone a little bit. No, it's wonderful, of course. We are building here really much, so that's why I came here. I didn't come here necessarily for a holiday. So I love Panama because it's my heart, it's my passion. I just love Latin America. No, but we're really building here. So we're building a great team out and down here in Panama, in Colombia, Venezuela, all my countries of salsa, which I love so much, and we're dancing a little bit salsa on the way as well.
Very, very good. Well, we'll get some comments on you as we go along, which would be great. So I'd like to hand over to the owner, Bill. Always a pleasure to have you on a call, Bill. You're doing a lot of hours for our business. You're doing a lot of time travel as well. You're almost like Doctor Who, mate, jumping in the TARDIS and whipping around the world at a great rate of knots. And before we get into the, on a positive note, when's the birthday? What's the official date of the company? Is it the 15th or the 14th? Do you remember? We asked you about a month or so ago.
Well, yeah, hi, Keith. Thanks for arranging this call on short notice. I'm a little bit croaky. It's not from partying. I wish it was. The birthday, I think, well, when we speak about the birthday, I mean, technically we're speaking about the formation of the Swiss company. That's around about the 9th or 10th of March. So it's about 10 years, as we speak right now. And that's quite bizarre. We've been in operation for 10 years, and and we get this cease and desist order from South Carolina in the USA. It was a great way to celebrate. But of course, but I also know, being in this game for 10 years, you've got to navigate, we're involved with gold, silver. We're involved with multi-level marketing, affiliate marketing. We're involved with cryptocurrency. So, we push the boundaries, but we're pushing the boundaries for the purpose of creating freedom, creating cash flow for our members. And that will not stop us from pushing the boundary. That's just our DNA. That's what, if you want to get ahead in life, you've got to push the boundary. But that does not come without risk. In fact, Claudia said today, she said, we're having a lunch meeting. And she said, sometimes it's just easier being an income earner having a job. I said, well, that might be so, but it's not my DNA of life. I've never done that. I've been self-employed since 1986. And this is all about the purpose. Now, we've seen historically great companies in the space of multi-level marketing being slammed, and we look at Vima, a $250 million company, a great company out of the US, probably one of the best CEOs you could have in the industry. Bam, dealt with the authorities there in the US. So, I've always said our biggest risk is probably regulatory wise, in one sense. But with that said, we're not a US company. With that said, we're internationally diversified. With that said, yes, there will be things and obstacles popping up, and it may not be for everyone. You haven't got the constitution, to go through, riding the waves of whether it's Bitcoin price, whether it's regulatory changes. Maybe it's not for you. But one thing is for sure, we are not stopping. With the plans for 2018, are very, very significant. I spent the last 4 or 5 days in Orange County having significant meetings. What's coming out later in the year is going to be transformational for our members. But with that said, the cease and desist order in South Carolina, United States of America, is very serious. It's very serious. And in our good faith, in our goodwill, and I'm sure it's the same with Genesis, we always want to abide by the law. We want to work within the law. We do not want to get our members in trouble. We don't want to get in trouble ourselves. We want to be free spirits. That's the whole idea of this particular company. But things do pop up. But what I can say about it is legally, we haven't even received the notice yet. We have not even been served the cease and desist order. We heard about this on the internet. And of course, we wanted to make action straight away. So, South Carolina as a state for enrollments in America is already blocked. People cannot enroll from that particular state. We'll be reaching out to the members in that region. I mean, they bought products and services from us in that particular state. They'll be looked after. I mean, we're always there with integrity and transparency. I mean, that's really important. But they've been paid their money. That will continue to pay out, but they cannot offer it. The law actually says if you're promoting it, to other people, it becomes a bit of a security. If you're making money just for yourself, in one sense, it's not such a big deal. But this is not. I'm not making any legal claims here. I have not, or the company has not even had any legal advice at this particular point, because we don't even have the official cease and desist order in our hands yet. So we have 30 days to respond to that cease and desist order from the time it's actually served upon us. It'll be served on the company, I would expect, in Switzerland, and from there we'll make the appropriate action on that. It's disappointing for our members in that region. But I'm aware of this. I'm aware of what we're involved in. I'm aware of the global affairs. Look at the wallet providers around the world in the last 6 months. What's happened to them? It's been pretty full on with regulatory changes, and wallets been not being able to provide different services. But we are working full on, especially with our new deployments later on in the year. We're going to have all the various licenses. This is really important to us. We recognize that having your legal structure in place and license in place is very, very important for sustainability. We've been around for 10 years. We are sustainable. We want to be around for another 10 years. So we don't want to be an obstacle to authorities. We have to work in with the authorities. You have to understand what they want. Many of them don't even understand what they want or how to regulate for cryptocurrency at this particular time. So this is actually a bit of a changing environment. But I don't know how many countries we are in the world. We're all over the world, 150 countries or something like that. And we're talking about one state in the United States, and there's 51 or 52 states in the United States. And this is one state there. It doesn't mean it may not spread, but we certainly have to deal with it. We certainly have to honour the cease and desist order respectfully, and we will do so. And an email went out to all our US members today, and I think I forwarded that to you, Keith. You're most welcome to put that up on your group chat as well. It's not a problem for people for transparency to read that. But we have to we have quite a bit of work to do in this space over the next weeks, of course, to get our legal advice, etc. So that's really it. We're in a disruptive, revolutionary technology. You're going to get obstacles thrown at you. This is the game we're in one sense. But it's most important that people protect themselves, of course. Understand that cryptocurrency is disruptive. It is revolutionary. And there will be regulatory changes on the way. And I think throughout our engagement with cryptocurrency, we've always said that,
Yeah, you have said that just about every time you're on, Bill, which is keeping us informed of actually the basis of what we're in, a disruptive technology, a brand new cryptocurrency space. And it has, I guess, some people have said it has an influence on the way governmental departments and governments in general react to something that they don't really have control over at this stage. And they may be doing their best to put things in place that gives them control of one way or another. Maybe this is something that they've been alluded to. Maybe someone's from Genesis has mentioned that or not been happy. and that's sparked the interest in this type of mining and whether it's a security or not. But do you feel that maybe the governments, that's the underline, that they do want control of the space little bit by little bit, Bill?
Well, I think absolutely, Keith. Let's face it. What are we doing when mining? We're mining for a currency. Okay, in the US, they see it as a commodity. Some countries see it as a currency, but primarily we're mining for money. Now, historically, who's controlled the money in the world? It's always been central banks and governments, of course. Yeah. Now we're talking about people's money, cryptocurrency. If we spoke about people's money in the past, which was gold, what happened in the United States? Well, they barred it from 1933 to 1974. It was illegal for US citizens to own gold. Oh. Okay, from 1933 to 1973 or 74 or whatever it was a temporary legislation. They barred every US citizen from owning gold. The price was $20.67 at 1933 when Roosevelt proclaimed that particular order. People had to take their gold in, otherwise you'd face a jail term. You took your gold to the government. They gave you $20.67. They raised about $3 billion in gold. Then what they did was they changed the valuation of the gold from $20.67 to $35. So you've come to me, I'm the government. You've given me an ounce of gold. I've given you $20.67. Now I've got it off you. I've given you paper and then increased it to $35. What I've done overnight is devalued your paper currency, which I gave you by 40%. Yeah. If you follow where my mind's going on this. Now this has happened throughout history. You know, not just in the United States, other parts of the world too, but we're talking about a major country from 1933 to the 1970s where it was illegal for US citizens to own gold, which is the money of freedom. Well, cryptocurrency is also money of freedom. So there's going to be huge resistance by some parts of the world into this. They want to have control. We're talking about centralized system versus a decentralized system. I mean, cryptocurrency, the blockchain technology, the utility behind the cryptocurrency is absolutely ingenious. And we're going to see many changes as we move forward, I believe. We see Switzerland, they recognize it as a currency. You can pay your taxes in some states with Bitcoin, okay? So we're seeing, you know, while some states may have fear and not too sure to understand it, most people probably don't understand it. And therefore they will try and regulate and try to constrain it, but it's something that really cannot be stopped, to be quite honest. But I suppose we're bringing it back to where we are today. The most important thing is for us that our members are taken care of. We're here to help people create prosperity and freedom. We don't want them to lose their freedom or their prosperity. That's really the purpose of us. So we're going to be very strict regarding this, that members cannot, you know, in this region promote or any of our products or services. And where this may spread to in other parts of the US or other parts of the world, no one really knows. You know, in one state comes out and says that. At the same time, some other part of the world acknowledges that Bitcoin's fine and they recognize it as a currency, etc. For example, in Chicago, it's traded as a commodity, you know. But again, this is all coming back to licenses, but these are new licenses, so we need to investigate this, of course, and need to get proper legal advice on this. What's really bizarre for me is that at no time have we ever received a notice, a phone call, a hint, you know, from the authorities from South Carolina that, you know, what are you doing? Have they asked us any questions? Have we received any legal documentation to submit to them, to explain to them? We as a company have received absolutely zero. You know, so in one sense, in the land that you're going to, you know, that you're innocent until proven guilty, well, it doesn't always happen that way, does it? You've got to justify your existence and justify your innocence. But again, we'll abide by the law. We honour that and respect that. I think the summary email that we put out explains it pretty clearly to our members regarding the reasons behind it, and people should abide by that.
Yeah. I don't think governments are overly good at communicating with people. I don't think that's been one of their the highest priorities of being able to do that in any way, shape, or form. I'll throw to Cloudy if I can and ask you. You've been in South America for a little while. What's the as opposed to the US, which is really in some states like Arizona loves Bitcoin, and yet South Carolina's found something to object to. that they've maybe been prompted to do. What about South America? What's the feeling down there, regulatory-wise and governments? It varies from country to country, I suppose.
Oh yeah, but big time. I mean, Venezuela, you see President Maduro, which of course every Venezuelan sort of hates. I believe he just comes out with his crypto dollar, his petrodollar. Now he wants to do something backed by gold. His own cryptocurrency, which. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. I need hours to get into that subject now, but regulatory-wise in Panama, very much unknown still. Have no really clue about it. But regulation and other things, since of course Panama paper has been really strong. So people think it's a very easy country to go in and you just do things. No, they have really no clue. It is very, very, very hard in Panama. So it's very controlled. Absolutely very controlled. Now, there's a lot of corruption. That is, of course, we are South America, we're Central America, we're still a third world country here. But in cryptocurrency terms, Panama is really, really backwards still. They're just really starting to, they're bringing Andreas Antropol, I never know how to say the name, but they're bringing him very soon here. Actually, he's coming the first weekend in May to speak for the basically fintech. Well, it's a fintech event, of course, in Panama. So he's going to speak to banks and lawyers and all this stuff, and to educate on the space. Venezuela is way more further forward thinking. I just heard Colombia is the country in South America which has the most Bitcoin transactions. That I just read this article today. So yeah, Panama really backwards. Colombia, Venezuela more forward going in that space.
Thank you very much for the update on South America. We've got both continents covered there, North and South America. So just if anyone's just joined us, a few people just jumped on that the company has had no official conversation or involvement regarding the cease and desist order yet, but Bill's taken his own hands to get on top of this straight away and control the situation as best he can from our side. The rest of the world obviously is carrying on. We've got contracts going live in 3 days from Genesis Mining. That will, the first payout will be on the 16th. The other, just a brief issue with the Ethereum payouts, Bill, I did get paid today. It's the first time I've been paid in about a month with my Ethereum contracts. Quite a few of them are missing, but I know Genesis have a massive problem, if you like, with the amount of customers they have to get everything individually right. So it's going to take quite a while with the disruption they had. Now, I did get paid today, as I said, but I know a lot of my payments are a little bit all over the place. So I've got to do a bit of a list myself. I've already put a support ticket in. So obviously they're aware of me as an individual member that I have problems, whereas some people are just receiving payments normally every day. So it's quite selective of who is and who isn't. Anything you can update us on regarding the Ethereum, Bill, while we've got you here?
Sure. Before I do, Keith, let me just back up to this issue with the cease and desist order. I mean, much of this came out. We learned from it from the article from MLM Truth, I think it was. That's where it was written up. It was under this particular website called MLM Truth. Now, I've had dealings with these. They've written about us over the years. I mean, I've been around for 10 years, so they've written some articles on us in the past, and that's okay. In fact, I think they do a good service, these people. What I disagree with is that they make their own judgment. They put out their article, and at no time do they contact the company. For example, they make assumptions, they make claims, it's unfounded. Okay, the cease and desist order I mean, that's there. I mean, it's clear. The fact's there. They have these search engines and search for anything that's coming out regarding MLM companies, and then they post it. You know, but a lot of their stuff is BS. To be quite honest, is it behind MLM or is it MLM Truth? I can't remember the name of the company actually, but I've had dealings with these guys, and I've actually contacted them straight up and said, "Hey, if you're going to write about us, have the decency to pick up the goddamn phone and talk to me. Ask some facts." Yeah. You're going to put some stuff up, make sure what you're putting up is the real deal. Don't put any BS up and have the courtesy to actually call me. Now, they didn't call me, and they're not going to call me. I know that, because it's not really in their interest to actually get into discussions about this or that. They're just there as a noisemaker, and they tracked, and they also have a back end thing themselves. But we had Rod Cook. I mean, it's interesting that we've been around for 10 years. If I go back to the 10 years when we actually founded in Panama, in one sense. We had an office here in Panama, because the Australian guy I was involved with, as a banker, he's been out here for, I don't know, 15 years. And we had Rod Cook from MLM Watchdog. Now, MLM Watchdog, he is the real hardcore guy when it comes to reporting scams and this and that. If you look up MLM Watchdog, you'll see his name, Rod Cook. And he's been around for a long, long, long time. And he was really the number-one guy. A lot of these other sites came on afterwards. And so Rod's been out to our office a couple of times in Panama, know him well. Claudia's even met him. We also had Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher from Proctor Gallagher Institute fly out to our office here, spend 2 days with us in Panama as well. And we also had Sheffield Resource Network, Mike Sheffield, where the pay plan was actually developed. Mike Sheffield flew out here with his consultant, spent some time out with us, because they're developed. It cost us tens of thousands of dollars, I mean, mega dollars to get these things developed. And they wanted to make sure that we were the real deal. So these people, Bob Proctor, Sandy Gallagher, been at our office here. Mike Sheffield from Sheffield Resource Network, who developed the pay plans, been here in Panama at our office for a couple of days. And Rod Cook, he's flown out here a couple of times, actually. He's a real character. Rod, I like him very much, highly respect him. He looks after affiliates very well, and companies, but he certainly, if you're a scammer, he's gonna cut your throat. He's pretty tough out there. But I like him. He's also visited us out here. Excuse me. That doesn't mean, you know, the environment's always changing, and we need to change with that. Nothing stays static. So smart companies have to keep changing with the regulatory changes, and we're talking on a global basis, so it gets very, very complex, of course. So no one is perfect. As I mentioned at the beginning of the call, the great company Beamer, who I have high respect for, one of the best CEOs, and they just totally worked him and screwed him, to be quite honest. And probably the most honest company out there, to be quite honest, with great products. But that was just unfortunate what happened to him. But it happens, you know. So that's all I can really say about that. And the MLM, behind MLM, or MLM Truth, or whatever they call themselves, about those guys as well. So I know who they are. They know who I am. They just don't want to talk to me. In respect to Ethereum, yeah, there's been issues there. What's really important is, you know, they explained it to us on my last meeting that a lot of the problem is the mining's not a problem. Even the unpaid reward, or the reward's not a problem. But when they push it to the blockchain for payout, that's when sometimes some issues happen for some members. And they miss out, and they've got to resubmit, and they've got to wait. Actually, once it's submitted on the blockchain, before it fails and drops out again, it can take, they say it can take up to 20 days or something. Even though they tell us it's 72 hours, it can take much longer than that. So this prolongs things. Plus, I've got many tickets to look after. So it's going to take time to rectify this. Most importantly, it's just realize that people are going to be paid. Genesis founders are good people. The team are good people. And, you know, missing out on someone's payout for $3 here or $5 here or $20 there, even if it was $1,000, they're not. You're a $1 billion company. They're not going to try and screw people for that sort of dough. They're not. That's not who they are. It's not their DNA. But things have to be corrected there. There's no question about that. There's no apologies for that. But things go wrong. We're talking about, you know, we're talking about many moving parts here, and them reporting to us. You got, you know, everyone's got processes that rely on third parties to do their job properly. And when they don't do their job properly, there's a failure, whether it's on the blockchain side or whether it's Genesis pushing the data across to us so we can report it to you. There's many areas that can actually break down. So this is really what happened to people. So it's important that people, if they believe they missed out on the payout, to be very clear, be very specific. Don't be over emotional about it. We're not going to run off with a couple of bucks from you, okay? Life is too short to do that. But be very specific. Do a screenshot and say, hey, on this payout, this date, this payout, this date, this payout, this date, I have not been paid, please. Could you have this checked out? And we'll give this to our support team, who will give this. We have a team that specially deals with Genesis, and they have a team that's assigned to us, and they'll look at it. But I'm sure there's plenty of people, there's plenty of tickets waiting there to actually probably be corrected, Keithy. So that's primarily how it works.
Yeah, I think you're spot on, and what you say is correct. Just take the emotion out of it, and just we're all in business, and that's some people forget that and just think they're giving their money and expecting money back in return without having to do any work or act or behave like an online business person. We're in an international business, and you should treat it as such. Just got one question from Ontario. The only penalty South Carolina has that they won't be able to promote Swiss Gold Global, but they're allowed to receive mining payouts, etc. That's what you said before, Bill?
Hi, Ontario. I need to get legal advice on this. Okay, I need to get legal advice on this before I make any claim this way or that way. I think, but we can have a call, Ontario. Reach out to me. We can have a call on that.
Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. Now, is there anything? You basically covered off what you're doing. Everyone in the US has received an email, a Swiss Gold Global member in the US. Now that email that you sent out, I'll post that in the Swiss Gold Global corporate page and Swiss Gold Global Australia, just so other people can pass that on to other members, so they can clearly understand where we're at. Officially, we have not been contacted. They'll have to, we'll reach out to them. But as long as the members know that you're completely in control, Bill, and on top of things, which is the whole idea of just jumping on the call with you today, that so all our members can understand that the owner of our company is exactly on the ball, knows what's going on. And you're right what you say with these behind MLM, they're all in for the exposure of themselves, really, and maybe at the end of it to promote whatever business they have in the background. I don't know what these people, how they earn a living when they're posting all this stuff continually about other companies, where they get their own income from. But, that's, as you said, it's not in their interest for you to actually talk directly to them and give them the answer that they don't want to hear.
Well, I don't think it's, it's good to have sites that are actually doing research and putting stuff out in one sense, but I think it should be done in a fair way. It's like making in a major newspaper, making some claim against some particular company that's been operating for 30, 40, 50, 60 years, thousands of employees, and someone comes out and makes this negative, unfounded claim, which, I think Trump calls it false news, doesn't he?
Yeah, fake news, fake
news, sorry, yeah, whatever. Transparency, I'm all for that. I think that's what we stand for as a company. And we're not perfect, that's for sure. But I just think other companies like that, they should at least have the decency or the audacity to reach out and say, hey, this is what we've heard about you, or this is what we think. Is this true? I wrote a big email to these people maybe 3 or 4 years ago, because maybe longer actually, made some goddamn claim about a pay plan, and they were totally wrong. We're probably the only company out there that has about 70% probably customers versus about 30% affiliates. We have so many customers, whereas many companies don't have customers.
Yeah.
They have all affiliates. So we're well and truly within the law when it comes to that with our products and services. I mean, even from the gold and silver savings plans from people just joining up as a customer to be in a gold and silver plan, or people now on crypto mining who are free customers. It's what we need to do, though. Of course, we want to actually bring lots of more products and services out. That's going to make it a lot easier for the affiliates to join up affiliates too. And that's what we're working on with this new concept, this new brand, which will come out later on in the year. That's our main focus right now.
Yeah.
I don't really need these distractions of all this stuff going on. But you know what? You're flying at A380, you hit some storms sometimes unexpectedly, and you just got to deal with it. You can't, it's just the way it is. I've been an entrepreneur since 1986. It's not always easy, and it's not for everyone. I wouldn't do anything else, but I just know it's my responsibility as the captain of the ship to deal with it, and to the best of my ability to protect our members. That's really the important thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad we're flying in an A380, Bill, not in a single-engine Cessna. When we hit
I actually learned to fly in a single-engine Warrior.
Warrior, yeah, all right. Well,
Warrior. I learned to fly in, so
I'm
years
glad
ago.
you're on the flight deck of an A380, mate, because it will push through most storms without any, as much as a bump in first class or business class. Where that's what we're all aiming for, to get to first class or business class, so we can all travel around in a big posse with Claudia all over the world. We'll just hire a team bus and just go everywhere.
Well, Claudia might fly first class and business class. I know she has done that, but I certainly still fly economy class just to let everyone know, unless it's a long trip like Los Angeles to Dubai, which is 16 hours, then I'll get my upgrade. Well,
you're 6'4" or something, mate. How can you sit in cattle class with your legs you got, mate? You must be in the exit row.
Actually, normally because I'm flying, they give me a seat free to me. But no, it's just a beautiful aircraft and it's comfortable. I mean, it's enough for it's to me, flying is a bit of a meditation. No one can sort of distract me too much. I'm in my own space. You just got to deal with it, don't you? Like life, you got to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. Now, Claudia,
mind you, yeah. I would prefer the business class, Keithy.
Yeah, correct. All right, Claudia. Now, when are you going back to Germany? How long are you staying in Panama, and what do you got sort of coming up? I know this is a little bit of a distraction, but we've still got to be running our business and we've still got to be moving forward. So what's going on with you?
Well, I have no plans to go back to Germany because I just love, this is my environment. I love South America. What can I say? No, but Kitty, I want to touch this quickly, if I can, on a different subject. And by the way, yes, I was even flying first class, being invited by Bob Proctor. So,
Fantastic.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah,
that nice? Yep. Yeah. So anyhow, I really, my suggestion for just my advice or my little tip for people is in this industry, and I have learned a lot myself in this industry. And some of you know, some of you don't know, I have been working for corporate for many years in a large billion-dollar network marketing company. So sometimes we forget what really network marketing is about, and that is about, of course, working your business, promoting your business, but also of helping other people. So when we just join other people because we have a link to a product and we join them, but we don't help them understand what we are about, understand them how to set up a wallet, help them understand what mining is, how it pays out, that sometimes are hiccups, that sometimes this. I think we're doing a little bit of a disserve of our industry, because at the end of the day, it is about helping other people. And and I see it here in Latin America. The time I spent myself helping, educating, it's just enormous. Sitting down with people, and I'm not let's say, I'm not the person who doesn't take the time. I do take the time for them because I understand what it means to get started. So I sit down with them, I help them, I take them by the hand, and I walk them step by step through what really it means to build a business. And a lot of the big networkers or the big online marketers, they just don't want to do that. They don't want to do that. And I think that is a deserve of our industry. You got to take the time, because if you educate that person, if you walk that person through, if you really help that person, then this person will go out and actually do something with your help. So this is sort of my advice to people. Don't just let them sign up and you get your nice paycheck. No, now your job actually starts. Once you sponsor a person, that is when your job as an affiliate, as a networker actually starts. You're going to get paid for what? In this industry of network marketing, you're going to get paid for people helping and educating and showing and helping other people to tell about this great concept. That's what you get paid for. And this sometimes gets a little bit lost. I see that really lately, because sometimes the question people have is like, wow, haven't they been told by their sponsor? And that really shocks me. And this is where we have to, I believe, as affiliates, not the company, now we as affiliates really have to work on. I have a great testimony here with Paul, of course, and he's really learning. Paul de Janon, he came over from the UK. He's actually Panamanian, and I'm working with his team, and he's building a really great team. He was actually a traditional, he was sort of in the online marketing. He said, wow, Claudia, I had no idea. And he has totally changed his mindset now. And he said, I love that. That is a real great way. And we're really building a family here. a family which sticks together through the bad times and through the good times, obviously. And then you don't have to worry about running people off the next shiny object, because you're really building a really great family business. So that's just my wish for you guys. You may take these words to heart, you may don't. I wished really the best for you, and let's build a better company and really be professional, become professional marketers. So that's my words to close.
Fabulous as always, Claudia, and that's the key, that it does take some people a number of businesses or a number of years to actually find the right business that they fit like a hand in glove into. And a lot of people get disenchanted, or they get, I guess, brainwashed in some way of the businesses they've been in, that they're thinking everything online is like that. And the case with Swiss Gold Global is not. Right here, up behind here, Swiss Gold Global, building a generational wealth, is what Bill keeps telling us, in a new industry, in the cryptocurrency industry, which is very disruptive. Lots of changes. I look at my phone every morning on Crypto Tracker, and the Bitcoin price is up and down, like one of the rides at SeaWorld or Movie World on the Gold Coast. It's constantly up and down, and you got to got to go with the flow, as Bill says, that there are going to be changes, but you've got to stick to your plan, and that's to be successful online. I believe with Swiss Gold Global, we found the right company, and people only get that from you two guys there, from showing the leadership that you do. And now people go to their back office, which I'm doing right now, on Wednesday the 14th, it's 7 a.m. for me, local time, that Bill, you're doing a live hangout. And then on Sunday, you're doing the same thing again, Bill. So that's twice in a week that the owner of a multi-million-dollar business is actually connecting with everyone in the business face-to-face and able to ask questions. So you don't get that anywhere else that I've ever seen online. So people need to accept that.
Those dates, Keithy.
Say again?
I'd better check those dates. I mean, I'm a bit lost on time zones at the moment, but I know I'm doing one. What's today?
I'll be Saturday night.
Sunday.
For you, Bill.
Okay, so Tuesday night, which is Wednesday morning, I know we're doing one.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I know Claudia's doing some in Spanish.
Yep.
And then the next one after that will be in
Saturday
I'm going to be in the following Saturday night, but I'm going to be in Dubai then. So I don't know whether I'll be available for the call, but if not, Claudia might bring on yourself. She might bring on Paul. I don't know. She might bring someone else on the call, do that with her.
It'll be 3 a.m. in the morning, so either I'll stay up or...
We should do it then, Keithy, to give you a taste of the flavour.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Thanks very much, Bill, for dropping me in that one. Love your work, son. All right. Well, it's been fantastic having you on for these 40 minutes. We've had a lot of people watching, and everyone knows that's watching that what a great job you're doing, what a great company you're in. This is a blimp or a spot on the radar, or we're just, and the analogy, which I'll keep using, thanks very much, Bill, is that all of us in Swiss Gold Global are in an A380. Now, that's a massive jetliner that just plows through the rough turbulence, and in this industry we'll get plenty of turbulence because some people aren't happy, some people have their own agendas, but as a company we're solid, we're moving forward. So everyone here that's watching needs to share this link on their timeline and tell their teams to watch this particular hangout and hear directly from the owner about this issue that's come up and that is going to be dealt with. In the interim, I got paid today in Ethereum because I've asked for my Ethereum contracts to be paid in Ethereum. So I got a payment to my Ethereum wallet today. I've been paid in Bitcoin. I'm looking forward in 3 days' time for all the pre-sale contracts to go live and get that payment on the 16th. So all excited about that. And what Claudia said to end is spot on, that we do have a responsibility in this business, that because there's so much new information about cryptocurrency and how wallet operates and how you run your business and how mining works and the very, very basics, that people need to be explained over and over and over to get the actual understanding. Now, I relate to myself as a soccer coach. when I've got a brand new team this year, and most of the guys are between 18 and 23 years old. So they're young Aussie lads, all mixture of races as well. But I'll tell them a particular planned move, which I did on Saturday when we had a game, and at halftime, everyone had forgotten it. They didn't know what it was. It needs repeat, 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 and then repeat, 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 repeat again. And finally, someone will get the basics of what you're trying to do. So we try and do that in our Hangouts. And Bill was constantly saying disruptive technology every time we speak. So everyone's hopefully getting that message that there are ups and downs in this. And you just got to buckle in and put your head down and be determined to get through to that success, which is always elusive. You know, success is a little bit of elusive. Once you don't really get there, because your definition of success changes along with your circumstances, that you redefine yourself and you redefine your goals as you go along. As the more successful you become, you redefine your goals so you can help other people, other family members, people that you know you can help by becoming a little bit more successful. So you get a bit more determined, a bit more define your goals and carry on. That's what you should do. Everybody's just got to carry on and foot down. So thank you, Claudia, for coming on. Fantastic. We'll have to do a normal time for you. So I don't mind doing the midday one for us. That's fantastic. Enjoy your evening in Panama. What's temperature, by the way? It's summertime, is it? Or what's temperature there?
It's the temperature why I did come here and not be in Germany with -degrees. It's 30 degrees and I love it. And it's now raining season will start soon. I mean, it rains like what, a half hour a day and that's it. But it's really green and mango season starts soon. Oh, I love it.
Fantastic. All right, 30 degrees and mangoes. All right, Bill, now you're there at the moment. Then you say you're off again. The A380 is waiting at the end of the runway for you. Where are you heading to, Bill?
Well, I don't think they can land here in Panama, but I'm here and we've got some events. Tomorrow night we have a SGG event here in Panama City, which is great. And then next Thursday we're going to be speaking at the Blockchain Embassy with Claudia and Paul and some other members in Panama City as well. Then Friday I head out of here back to LA. And then from LA I fly back to at a meeting there. Then I'm going to fly back to Dubai. So who I'll be meeting some bankers and different things to move forward with our next project, which is very, very exciting. Just on this disruptive technology, I don't say this to create people fear. I mean, the whole purpose of Swiss Gold Global, it was designed that people don't really have to put themselves at risk. To be quite honest, you can get started with us. You don't have to put your life and your family at risk being involved with us if you do it smart. And but I speak about the risk factor of it just to remind people, because when things are paying out strong, people's greed emotion kicks in, and people make unsound decisions when the greed emotion kicks in, and they may regret that later on. That's really why I say it. But it's very important to be engaged in this industry as we speak right now. It's very, very dynamic. It's the right sector to be in. There's no question about that. Our members have done very, very well. I know you've done very well too out of it in the short time you've been involved with Kiwi. You know how to compound your hash very, very well. And that's the whole idea of it. You know, it's the whole idea of it. You know, you get out, you learn what you have, and you share it and promote it, and you get rewarded in hash power or other bonuses, and hopefully it's going to benefit you, increase the cash flow, give you a better quality of life, give you more choices to be able to have. That's really what it's about. It's not complex, you know.
That's it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's the whole idea. I watched a video last night, and the lady said very, very true what she said. What she's trying to do is find something that is uncomplicated, because she wants to uncomplicate her life. She said life is too complicated as it is. I want to find something that is uncomplicated that'll give me a better life for myself and my family. And I believe this is it. The technology that we're moving into, whether people understand it or not, if they get a sort of a feel for it and they find the right company, which I believe Swiss Gold Global, partner with Genesis, that will be uncomplicated. But you just have to learn as you earn, as we say. You've got to learn as you earn, slowly but surely. And it does take time. It's 10 months for me, Bill and Claudia. I haven't even been involved with you guys for a year yet. It took me 4 months to make a decision before I did get involved 10 months ago. So I'm coming up to my first year in business. I have done well, Bill, and I have compounded. I've learned to put profits back in to make more profit. But I've only just got started. I haven't even been in there a year. So my plans for the next 12 to 18 months are quite set out of what I want to do. And I just want to grow slowly but steadily. No rush, just grow steadily and surely, and grow a fantastic business over time that I can introduce people and change their life. Like Claudia, all you got to do is help as many people as you got. It was Zig Ziglar said that famous quote, to get what you want, you just got to help as many people get what they want. If you can help them, you don't have to worry about your bills. They'll take care of themselves. Just help as many people as you can. And that's educate, as someone said here, Paul DeGenon, educate, demonstrate, duplicate. Just educate people and help them, and do it over and over again. That's it, folks. Very short one. It's supposed to be a short one. Always drags out because we've got a lot to talk about. But thank you very much, Bill and Claudia. Awesome to have you on and clear up what's going on now. Great leadership as always. And have a great day in Panama. And for the rest of you around the world, we'll see you on the next one. See you now. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Keithy. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.